Alright, so a quick video here. I think this came out a couple of days ago. It's about they were doing a school shooting drill, I think in Indiana, and they used like pellet guns, air rifles and stuff, and they shot teachers with them. And the teachers were complaining and everything. So here, I'll show you.
Shootings are a sad fact of life, and it is important that
What was that?
won the top prize at the World Championships. School shootings are a sad fact of life, and
Really? They're a fact. School shootings are a sad fact of life.
it is important that teachers and students know what to do in an emergency.
This is ridiculous. I just can't believe that this is what we do now. They instill fear, and then now they teach teachers and students, they prepare them for mass shootings. This is ridiculous. Here, go to school where you can die. Go to school and practice to get murdered. Oh, cool. Can I just be homeschooled? I don't really need the indoctrination. They're not really teaching. They taught me that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And then at 3 p.m. they told me JFK was killed by a magic bullet. And then at 4 p.m. I've got soccer practice. And then at 5 p.m. we got a school shooting drill. Cool. Yay, let's go to school. Can't wait. Can't wait to get up at 5 a.m. to go do a school shooting drill.
But at one school district, a safety drill was way too realistic, to the point that some teachers were injured in the process.
Did a school shooter training session like this go too far? It's
The fact that we even hold any of these, we're going too far. So what is the point of this? Like, why are they telling this story? Like, why are they talking about this? Did this even really happen where teachers really hit with airsoft or whatever, bullets, airsoft guns? I don't know what the correct term is, but I don't know.
called ALICE, short for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, Evacuate. And it offers realistic drills to deal with school shooter situations.
I feel like they shot the teachers with these pellets or whatever because, I don't know, I just feel like they did it to prepare them, get them ready for when the school shooting comes, because maybe they're going to send in a shooter that has one of these guns and shoots them with it, or I don't know, man. I don't know if there's such thing as a bullet that you can get shot with that doesn't go into your body, or, like you feel it, it's a bullet, but I don't know, somehow it just hits the front of your body and it just sticks there, goes in a little bit, nothing harmful or that can kill you. So when they actually have these school shootings and they have a shooter and people are getting shot and they feel it, they think it's real as shit.
Like the tragedy at the high school in Parkland, Florida
Yeah, we're talking about a school shooting drill. Gotta bring up Parkland last year. Any chance we can to show the same video clips.
last year.
But teachers at one elementary school in Indiana say their ALICE training went
It was an elementary school? An elementary school. You gotta be fucking kidding me. School shooting drills for teachers at an elementary school. You go to college for 4 years to be a teacher. You learn all this shit. And then you get your job and you don't really get to teach. You just have to read off of whatever they're telling you to teach them. And then on top of that, you got to take mass shooting drills. Unbelievable.
way too far.
You're going to have to pay me more than $35,000 a year to be a teacher if you're making me do all this shit.
They say they were left with welts and wounds that drew blood after being shot at by an ALICE instructor with one of these.
Welts and wounds that drew blood. So maybe they are using these in school shootings. People think that they were actually shot. Look, I'm bleeding. I don't know where the bullet's at. I was hit by a ricocheting bullet. I was hit by debris.
It's an airsoft gun, and it fires plastic.
There had to be bullets because something like shot a brick wall, and then the brick wall chunk came off and hit my arm, and I bled. What else could it be? You were shot with a little pellet.
Pellets.
Wow, this is a big one.
If you get hit with one, it can leave a nasty mark. At the airsoft factory range, plastic pellets.
Wow, this is a big one.
If you get hit with one, it can leave a nasty.
Yeah, I think some of the kids are so stupid out there. I mean, they eat Tide Pods. I think that they would believe that if they got hit with an airsoft gun, they would think that that was a bullet. That was a bullet wound that they have right there. They're that dumb.
Mark. At the Airsoft Factory Range in New Jersey, airsoft guns are used for sport.
When you pull the trigger,
And school shootings.
They'll be like that.
Teachers at the school in Indiana are furious. It hurt so bad, one said. They shot all of us across our backs. I was hit 4 times.
I was horrified when I learned of this.
Keith Gamble is vice president of the Indiana State Teachers Association. He says people waiting their turn in the
The teachers that participated in this are idiots. You're one by one watching your fellow coworkers get shot and in pain, and you're just lining up. You dumbass sheep.
Alice training could tell something
Follow the herd.
was wrong.
Some who were waiting to go in did report that they heard screaming.
If somebody was hurt at this incident, they never told us.
It's just the way that they're describing all of this. It just makes me think that they're using airsoft guns in school shootings.
Chief Sheriff's Deputy David Roth. Do you think this demonstration went too far?
Absolutely not. It's putting them through a little bit of stress because you need to know how your body's going to react during these stressful situations.
You make it sound like this school is for sure gonna have a school shooting. Like you're making them prepare like they're going to war for real, when the chances of there being an actual event or a school shooting at your school is insanely impossible.
You have taken some remedial steps in this training exercise, correct?
Well, we're no longer going to teach teachers. We're going to
Oh, you're no longer gonna teach teachers? Who are you gonna teach?
keep our training to law enforcement.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, why don't you teach your cops to stop school shootings instead of relying on the teachers? Yeah, do your job, cops.
nonetheless, the teachers union is now seeking an amendment to the state's school safety bill, which would require what they call more reasonable limits on drills. The tweet
I can't believe this is a thing. More reasonable limits on drills.
The active shooter drills in their district go too far, and they want change. Teachers from the Twin Lakes district say they were actually shot with pellet guns by local sheriff's deputies and suffered welts and bruises. Some
Look at this shit. She's got like a Nerf gun.
even say the pellet guns drew blood. The school district put out a statement saying it is aware.
Look at this teacher down here. Like, how many times do they do these drills and then they're not using a big Nerf gun, or they put a real gun there, and then they show these images where there's a teacher hiding underneath the desk looking like he's hiding from shooting, and they take that image and use it on the news and pass it off as real.
The concerns and has, quote, facilitated a meeting with the association and the sheriff's department to collaboratively discuss these matters. Now the state's largest teachers union is getting involved, and Dan Holub is the executive director of the Indiana State Teachers Association, and he's with me. So Dan, thank you for taking the time, and I know this was only supposed to be a drill, but why were they using these sorts of pellet guns? Can you just describe what the teachers went through?
They're all always drills.
Well, first of all, I think it was just a situation of poor judgment on behalf of the sheriff's department. But what happened, it was at the start of a active shooter training that was occurring in the district. Teachers were brought into a room, I think 4 at a time,
I'm surprised they didn't shoot elementary kids with the airsoft guns.
and asked to put on some eye.
Well, we got to prepare the students for the worst. We got to prepare the kids. The little, how old are you when you're in elementary school? Got to prepare the little 10-year-olds for stress, being in a stressful situation when there's a school shooter, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's coming to a school near you. You need to be prepared for this. We're not doing these drills just for the fun of it. We're doing it because it's going to happen.
Gear. They were told to turn around and face the wall,
So much fear they push on people.
and I think they were asked.
Look at this jackass up here. He's smiling. Look at that teacher hiding underneath the desk. He's about to get shot. That shit hurts. What a bitch.
To sort of crouch down, and then they were shot at with plastic pellets.
And what did they say afterwards?
I swear to God, if I'm a teacher at that school and a cop shoots me with a plastic pellet, I'm kicking him in the dick. No hesitation.
Well, many of them were shocked, and obviously it was a great surprise to them.
I would show up and be like, no, I'm not doing this drill. I keep a gun on me. So if there's a school shooter in here, I'm going to fucking kill him. Cool? All right, I'm going to go back to my class and grade some papers.
As you mentioned in the intro, there were injuries light injuries that occurred. And honestly, people just didn't understand why that would be done. We don't start our school buildings on fire when we're doing...
Oh, the outrage over being shot with plastic pellets. Where's the outrage over doing these goddamn drills? Seriously.
Fire safety training.
Sorry for dropping the GD.
It just seems to us there's absolutely no
This just pissed me off.
reason that this should have occurred.
So what is the sheriff's department saying?
Well, first of all, they're saying they're not going to do it again, so I think they understand that they made a mistake. And again, I don't read their minds, but I think it was just an example of some poor judgment.
And what is your group trying to have changed?
We want to use real bullets.
So there's legislation working its way through the Indiana legislature that would provide some additional support for schools. One of the things it does is it provides expanded support for mental health services in our schools, which we think is really important.
Why don't you just give all your teachers guns?
It also requires annual active shooter training, and what we've sought is simply an amendment to that.
How about you take down the gun-free zone sign at every school? Maybe then, people wouldn't show up trying to shoot your school up.
To say that during that training you won't shoot teachers.
Right. Unfortunately,
Pretty obvious.
right. I'm like, yes, don't do that. But at the same time, bigger picture, active shooter drills, sadly, is a reality for our students across the country today.
No, it's not. It's just what you make it to be with your programming and your brainwashing with television and these false flag and stupid fake events. It's not our reality. It's a fake rigged reality that you push on people, but it's not reality. There's never been a school shooting anywhere near me.
And I realized that, and perhaps it sounds like the sheriff's department realizes that they made a mistake, but how do you thread the needle in truly preparing teachers for the worst case scenario?
You give them a gun?
Versus being too lenient.
Tell them to get a different job?
Well, look, we support the idea of
Start standing up to your government who are doing these fake events?
Active shooter training and other trainings that are necessary, but it needs to be done professionally.
Training, so much training, preparing and training. I remember when I was in school, we had tornado drills. When you just, you hide under your desk or you have to go in the hall or something. It wasn't a tornado preparing, tornado training drill. It's just tornado drill. All this training, preparing.
And it needs to be high
Sounds like you're getting them ready for something that's going to happen.
quality. And so our concern was really with the professionalism of this training.
It's been a minute since there's been a school shooting. It's like last year there were so many. And now that we're not voting this year, it's like, we don't need to do any because we don't have to push any laws or agenda or whatever.
And so that's the reason we've intervened with the state legislature to try to...
Also, with all the school shootings, there's never been a summer school shooting, which is odd since those are usually the bad kids, the dumb ones, the ones that, I don't know. I just figure that it makes more sense that someone would shoot up a summer school.
Address it. And by the way, we think there's bipartisan support for this.
Great.
Hopefully this will occur and we can turn the page on this.
Great. Dan Holla.
Great.
Thank you. Thanks for looking out for our teachers.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The U.S.
Yeah. All right. That's it. I just wanted to show you the school shooter drill gone wrong.